All right, guys, welcome back. We have just finished up learning about the translations, rotations, and reflections. Now we're going to talk about combinations. So combining two or three of those movements into one movement. So we're going to get started here on page 24. And this will actually be broken into two lessons so that we can follow along a little bit easier. So I'm going to share with you my document screen here. And like I said, we are going to start on page 24, which is right after the rotations lesson. So we're going to do two on this page and two on the next page. So let's write combos. All right, and the first combo we're going to look at is reflect across X, then up 3, left 6. All right, and I have an example that we're going to do with this. I'm going to go ahead and split my paper in half here. We'll do the second example down there. Draw a graph here. Okay, and the original point that we have, the original point will start at 2, 1, so that's A, and B will be at 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. Whoop. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're going to do this to that segment right there. And just to kind of keep things a little bit neater, I'm going to use a pen to do this. So we had point A was at 2, 1, and B was at 4, 5. Okay. So we're going to do this, and then we're going to find the rule, and then we're going to do what's called verify. Okay, so we're going to plug the points in and make sure we get out what we need. Okay, so the first thing is reflect it across the x-axis. Here's the x-axis, so I just need to reflect it over. So this point will be the same distance away from that x-axis on the other side. So we can put it right there. And then B will be the same distance. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to draw a dotted line here because this isn't where I'm ending. Okay, this is just kind of the midway point. Again, on a reflection, it's the same distance away from the line of reflection, and it's also perpendicular. Then we're going to take this and we're going to go up 3, left 6. So here's A. So we're going to go up 3, 1, 2, 3, and left 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And this is your A prime. And then B, we're going to go up 3, 1, 2, 3, and left 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is B prime. Okay. So now we need to take a look at the rule. Let me get a different color here. This one. Okay. So we want to start with the reflecting across the x-axis. Now, if you have a hard time remembering these rules, you can do one of two things. Number one, you could study and just memorize all the rules. Or number two, you can look at the before and after points and figure out what the rule needs to be. That's the method I like doing, is just figuring it out instead of memorizing. So first we have the rule for over x. Okay, so we always start with xy. Okay, and this was 2, 1, and it became 2, -1. So the x value stayed the same, but the y value changed signs. So the x value stayed x, but the y value changed signs. So there's my rule for over x. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take this rule and then we have to apply this second movement to it, which would be the rule for that. Excuse me. We're going to go, let's see, we'll mark it left 6, up 3. Notice I put it in the right order. My x movement comes first and then my y movement. That becomes x, y. And that goes to x minus 6, y plus 3. Now, I wrote it offset for a reason, okay? And what we're going to do is you do it in this order, okay? You started with x, y, and then you went here. But when you did this movement right here, you didn't start with x, y. You actually started with x negative y, okay? These became your new points. So in the end, our overall rule will be xy goes to, which we started with this, then we got these points. Then I'm going to take these points and I'm actually going to use them to go into that rule, okay? So I didn't do anything with x, so I'm not going to do anything with that x. So it's x minus 6. Now this y was negative y, so down here I'm going to put a negative y plus 3. So you kind of skip that step right there. And this is our combination rule. Okay, so let's verify everything. All right, let's verify that A goes from 2, 1 to negative 4, 2. So we'll start with A. A was at 2, 1. We're going to put these x's and y's into this rule. So that's 2 minus 6, comma, negative 1 plus 3. And that should be A prime. Let's see. 2 minus 6 is negative 4. And negative 1 plus 3 is 2. And if we look over here, A was at negative 4, 2. This step is called verifying. B was at 4, 5. I'm going to plug those points into the rule. So 4 minus 6, and then negative 5 plus 3. So B prime should be at 4 minus 6 is negative 2, and negative 5 plus 3 is also negative 2. So B prime should be at negative 2, negative 2, and it is. So we have verified that we did that all correctly. Okay, let's look at the next one. Okay, so our movement here is going to go down 5, left 3, then reflect over y equals negative x. Okay, a little bit of a hard one here. And we're going to use points A, at 4, 4. And point B will be at 6, 0. Go ahead and draw our graph here. And we'll put points A and B on there. So A is at 4, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is A. And B is at 6, 0. So 4, 5, 6, 0 is B. Okay. So the first thing we're doing with this is we're going down 5, left 3. So down 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, left 3. 1, 2, 3. And remember, we're not going to label it, and we're going to make a dotted line because this is just my halfway point for this. So down 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, left 3. 1, 2, 3. We'll make a dotted line there. Okay. So we can kind of multitask here. Let's go ahead and write the rule for that part. So we got the rule for left 3, down 5. And that rule is X, Y goes to, that's just a translation. So we're going X minus 3, Y minus 5. Okay. And then our next rule would be for the over Y equals negative X. Okay, and we'll get there in just a second. So we need to draw the line Y equals negative X. So that's a line that you're going to have to know. Okay, and that is a diagonal line that has a negative slope. So it falls and it goes through 0, 0. Okay, so there's that line right there. Y equals negative X. And we are going to reflect these points over that line. Now, this point is on the line, so when I reflect it, it's not going anywhere. So that is A prime. This point is one diagonal away, so when I go on the other side, it will also be one diagonal away. You count the diagonals, you don't count the horizontal and vertical lines. And this would be B prime. Okay, so there's our points. And you should know that this length is the exact same length as this. It looks a little different, but remember we did all this stuff to it. But those two things are rigid transformations, and they will result in the same length objects or congruent objects. Okay, so the rule for Y equals negative X starts with XY, and I'm going to offset it again. Starts with XY, and using this right here, it kind of tells you what's happening. Okay, it's telling you that your Y became your negative X. So negative X. And if you divide both sides by -1, it'll say X equals negative Y. So they switch spots and change signs. So in order to find that rule, again, we start with XY. Okay, we're starting with XY. So X comma Y goes to, and we go from this original ordered pair, and then we get these points. Then we're going to take these points and we're going to plug them in to there and there. Okay, so we're skipping that step. So we have our negative Y value. So here you're going to have negatives for both. So it's negative Y. So you have negative Y plus 5. You got to distribute that negative to both of those. Then here, it's the opposite of x. So x was x minus 3. So now it's going to be negative x plus 3. Okay, that's a little bit confusing. You just have to remember to distribute those negative signs among everything up there. Okay? All right, let's verify these rules. I'll choose maybe a darker one. Let's get purple. Okay, so A was at 4, 4. When I plug it into the rule, you get negative y, so negative 4 plus 5, comma, negative x, so negative 4 plus 3. Well, A prime, negative 4 plus 5 is 1, and negative 4 plus 3 is negative 1. So 1, negative 1, 1, negative 1, that's where A prime is. So we're good. B started at 6, 0. Plugging it into our rule right here, you have negative 0 plus 5, comma, negative 6 plus 3. So B prime, negative 0 plus 5 is 5, and negative 6 plus 3 is negative 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, which is exactly where our A prime and B prime ended. All right, so those are the first two examples for combinations. You'll have a little work activity to do, and then we will work on the other two examples at a later date. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.